Good evening, everyone. Icy Night here with Chapter 13, Rebuilding the Divide by Foxgear, read by Icy Night. Luna awoke as the hull of the moon cutter rumbling as it made port. Gadget apologized for the rough landing over the intercom, as it was his first. Chuckling, Luna rolled off the bed, becoming a tangle of legs as she rolled right on top of Celestia. The elder alicorn cried out in pain as her injured wing was crushed under her body. Sorry! Luna screams as she quickly rolled off her sister and tried something to ease her sister's pain. But Celestia held up a hoof to stop her as she hissed, fighting through the torment till the pain eased on its own. "It's all right," replied Celestia through gritted teeth. "I should have remembered. You like to roll off the bed. I'm fine." Racing to her hooves, Celestia gave Luna her best smile. "Come on. Let's go get some breakfast. I'm sure you're hungry after all that fighting." Luna's stomach rumbled at the mention of food, causing her to blush. "That sounds lovely. I'll have the kitchen make up a glorious feast for our victory, if you can call it that. But before then, there is some pony we need to see." "You're talking about Nightingale, aren't you?" Luna nodded, causing Celestia to look away for a moment. "Very well. But I must warn you, sister, she suffered some critical injuries trying to get help. It may be tough to see her." "It does not matter. We must see her," said Luna, walking out of the cabin, Celestia following after her. They arrived at the room where Nightingale was resting. They found Applejack had beaten them there. The former farm mare was in tears as she leaned over Nightingale's bedside. Nightingale herself was turned onto her stomach, showing off her wingless back and large surgical scars. "Oh, Night, I'm so sorry," Applejack sobbed as the sisters approached the bed. Luna wrapped her foreleg around Applejack, holding the earth pony close. "'Tis all right, fair Applejack. We will do all we can for her." Applejack leaned in closer into Luna's mane, hiding her tears in the alicorn's starry black hair. Nightingale wouldn't want her to see her crying, and after giving up so much to ensure their safety. I gotta go check on something." Stuttered Applejack as she quietly excused herself from the room, leaving the sisters alone with the now wingless Pegasus. Luna ran her hoof over Nightingale's scars, only to quickly retract as the Pegasus groaned in pain. She chose instead to simply hold the unconscious Nightingale's hoof as she expressed her thanks. "Because of your sacrifice, I'm alive, and many other ponies as well. You have my eternal thanks. I know you wanted to be in the Shadow Bolts, and you have more than deserved the honor." Luna choked back the tears as she thought of Nightingale's dream being destroyed. "I'm sorry." Quickly, Luna left, She didn't want to be seen crying by her ponies as the weight of what happened began crushing down on her. Celestia watched her leave, but made no moves to follow her sister. Not yet, at least. Instead, she took hold of Nightingale's hoof like Luna had done and pressed her head against the Pegasus, nuzzling the Pegasus lovingly. Thank you. Thank you for keeping Luna safe. For being so strong when I was weak. I promise I will help you get her wings back. If it takes me the rest of my life, I will pay back in full, Nightingale. Raising her head, Celestia trotted out of the room, seeking to go comfort Luna, when she bumped into Gadget, who was looking very downtrodden and holding a paper with a bunch of names and numbers. Celestia cringed as she figured out what he was holding. Casualty report. Nodding, Gadget handed it to her. She looked over the names. She didn't know any of them personally, but that didn't mean her heart didn't bleed of the loss of her little ponies. Her heart ached even more when the time would come for Luna to see it. Every name belonged to a pony she knew. The day Luna lost 187 friends. Thank you. I'll make sure Luna sees this at the right time, of course. Things are a little tough right now for her. Celestia folded the paper and put it into her harness. As she walked away, Gadget called out to her. Don't coddle her. Celestia turned, her mouth aghast as the unicorn stared her down with eyes of steel. Princess? No. Luna is tough pony. Delaying will only hurt her more. She knows we have to have lost some of our own. Not every pony can walk away from a battle. She knows this, you know this, so don't treat her like a filly. Treat her like a grown mare she is. Treat her like the princess she is. Treat her with the respect we do. If you do, things will get better between you two. Celestia was at a loss for words, so she simply nodded instead and continued on her way, only to pause as she watched Gadget as he fiddled with more notes and reports from the battle. The unicorn was looking positively taxed. His daughter came to mind, and she knew how he must be anxious to get back to her as soon as possible. Gadget? Yes, Princess Celestia? The stallion replied, looking up from his work. Let me take care of that, she said, levitating the stack of reports into her magic. You run along. I'm sure you have other things you'd rather be doing. But Princess, it's no trouble. I find myself in need of a distraction at the moment. I'll get everything in order and deliver the reports to Luna before the feast. Does that sound okay with you? Gadget smiled at the stress seeming to melt off his body. Yes, that'll be fine. Have a good day, Princess. I'll see you at dinner. Goodbye, Gadget. Give Dusk my regards. Celestia waved as the unicorn trotted away. Once he was out of sight, she began scrolling through the list of things to do. The first thing was to check on the resupplying of the moon cutter. Celestia trotted onward, greeting every pony she passed, which they politely returned yet there was something different in their mannerisms. From the castle step in Catwat, the pony here spoke to her as if she was a normal pony rather than some divine being. It was nice and refreshing to say the least. She couldn't remember the last time she was treated like a normal pony. Entering the hangar, Celestia couldn't help but admire the floating ship as she weaved between the busy supply ponies as they carried crate after crate of gems to refuel the ship's inner engines and weapons. She wondered momentarily why they were so eager to have the ship ready again, and then remembered Luna had originally built the ship for movable fortress for patrols. An idea she was still a little hesitant about, but she could certainly see its usefulness. "Excuse me," Celestia asked, stopping an earth pony who was directing a line of ponies that were repairing the hull of the ship. "Are you Navy von Kaltenstein?" I am. What you be mean, princess?" the stallion replied with a thick accent. He seemed to be around Gadget's age, his red mane connected to his long beard that hung down his chest, giving him a strange look with his peach-colored coat. "Well, I'm looking over some things for Gadget before the feast, and I'm supposed to..." Celestia stares at the paper, not having a clue how to say anything written on it. "This, what is this?" "Ah, GRCS, Gem Reactor Cooling System. We've got it under control, just needs a little tinkering here and there, and we should be good. Still runs a little hot though. Takes a lot of water and cooling gems to maintain safe temperatures. The cannons are mostly okay, but a few burnouts with some of the earlier models. But the later prototypes seem to hold up a lot better. But still we need some improvements. The hull overall is fine, but we may want to look at making it lighter. Might help with our speed and overheating problem. You get all that?" Celestia stuttered as she looked over the scrambled mess that was her notes. Could you say that again? Or maybe write it down, please? That's a bit much to take in at once. Navy Von... Do you have a nickname? Kaltenstein, or Colt, or even Navy. But don't call me Von unless you're looking for a lay-around. Okay. Kaltenstein chuckled as he took the paper from her and handed it off to another pony with a yellow and black helm, who wrote down everything Kaltenstein had said. "Funny thing, I'm one of the top engineers around here and I can't write. Never could get the hang of it, tried my teeth and everything, but just couldn't do it." Kaltenstein chuckled, handing the paper back to Celestia. "Well, that should be all on our end. Have a good day, princess. Come on, boys. Let's get some grub." Celestia watched the ponies file out of the hangar to the grand dining hall, and followed after them, only to pause at the exit to look back at the moon cutter in all its glory. A floating ship. Such a thing had never been heard of before, let alone imagined and then built. Amazing was the only way to describe it, and it was all thanks to Luna for deciding to go against the impossible. Celestia wonders Do herd ponies have such inspiring imaginations? Do they dream of reaching for the sky and beyond? If they do, and they surely must, does she encourage them and give them support and the things needed to do so? She always been for education and has sent many bids to schools in Canterlot. But thinking on it now, she never went and looked at the schools herself. Star Swirl is a great magician and talented inventor, and has also received many gold bits for his works. But he works alone and tends to keep his discoveries to himself. Actually, very few ponies he even knows he exists, let alone still alive. She should probably check on him when she gets back to Canterlot too. It's been 3 months since the last she checked on him. There were some definite changes to be made, and hopefully she wouldn't be making them alone. Continuing on her mission, Celestia traveled throughout the castle meeting ponies, taking in the new additions and lower levels, as well as the new additions to the courtyard. Though she was a bit dismayed by the training faculties and obstacle courses, she was happy to discover the garden located behind the castle was still intact and receiving attention from the looks of things. At the center of the garden was a small circle patch of flowers that made the image of the sun and the moon meshing together in harmony. She remembered her and Luna planted these particular flowers when they were fillies. Memories of that day came flooding back to her mind, and she smiled softly at the simpler times when their crowns were pretend and the world was much easier to understand. Taking out the list of the fallen, Celestia read through it once again, burning every name into her mind, till she was certain she would never forget them. Standing tall, she began the long walk to Luna's room, taking her time to deliver the news. When she came to the staircase that split the two towers that held their rooms, she took the stairs leading to the west wing first, wanting to see her room after her prolonged departure. Poking her head in the door, she found the room to be clean and free of dust. The bed sheets made and kept fresh, with all her mane and coat shampoos laid out and orderly. Lovingly, she touched the brush in the shape of her cutie mark, a gift from their mother. A tear escaped her eye, which she quickly wiped away when she heard hoofbeats outside the door. "Oh! Why, hello there, Princess. Didn't expect to find you here. I thought you'd be downstairs with the others. Don't mind me, I'm just here for a bit of cleaning. Princess Luna wants this room to be cared for with the best care available. Why, I think she even came and cleaned it herself a time or two. We were too busy with the rest of the castle." "I see. I'll leave you to your work then. I was just leaving anyways. Good day. Name's Apple Fiji. Have a good day, Princess Celestia." "Thank you," replied Celestia, as she made haste for Luna's room at great speed. By the time she had reached the Moon Princess' door, she had a thin layer of sweat on her coat. Standing there panting, Celestia spotted Rawhide standing outside some pony's door and looking rather nervous as he knocked. The door opened, revealing Applejack. The two exchanged some words and some blushes before Applejack retreated back into her room, only to return shortly after wearing a modest green dress. Hoof and Hoof, the two ponies, left down the stairs to the dining hall she presumed. Not alone, Celestia felt her own nerves rising as she raised her hoof to knock. Suddenly her mouth seemed dry as she gathered her courage. It shouldn't be this hard. She was talking to her sister. Why am I so nervous? Why am I afraid? She asked herself. Swallowing the lump in her throat, Celestia knocked and then waited, each second feeling like a minute as she waited for Luna to answer. Releasing the breath she'd been holding, Celestia entered. Hello, Celestia. Have you been down to the dining hall to eat yet? I haven't, and there's so much I need to do, but I've just sat here, doing nothing. Luna lay curled up on her bed with her blanket over her, so only her head stuck out, just like she always did when she was feeling upset. Celestia always found this sight kind of adorable. Carefully, Celestia climbed up onto the bedside beside her sister and placed her wing over her. Oh, Luna, you've done so much in so little time. It's more than I've ever done. When I started going to camp out on my own, there I've barely held things together. But you rallied ponies of all races together, organized them, and then spread them throughout the land, helping even more ponies. You've rebuilt the castle, expanded it, and gave ponies a home to call their own. You've taught young fillies and colts that would have never gotten the chance to learn if you haven't given them the chance to. You, my little sister, have done so much. I think you deserve a moment to let your wings down and take off your crown. But I know you, so I took care of some things for you. Processed the past few days. Celestia handed the notes and letters she gathered while walking around the castle over to Luna, who snatched them up with her magic and began reading them thoroughly. This is pretty good for a pony who doesn't know how things run around here. You're as adept as always, sister, but there seems to be something missing. Right. I have it right here. Celestia handed the list of the fallen over to Luna. Good news first, as Mom always said. I believe it was bad news first, and then the good news, so you have something to smile about, Luna replied jokingly. Her smile disappeared quickly, though, as she read through the names. 474, Silverfang. 5881, Liftwing. Thug Thomas, Slenderhoof, Watercult, Phantom Pain, Ghostmare, and many more gone. I knew they couldn't all make it. I guess some childish part of me wanted to believe they could. They were the best. They've trained hard, fought even harder, but they still... Luna? I'm fine, Celestia. No, that's not right. Luna shook her head, spraying tears all over. That's a lie. And I'm not supposed to lie, am I? I represent the element of honesty. I shouldn't lie. So I guess I should say I will be fine. Someday. Instead of saying anything, Celestia just held Luna closer. They stayed like that for a while, till both of their stomachs rumbled with the need for food. Celestia smiled as they both blushed red from embarrassment. There's a feast downstairs. Be ashamed to let it all go to waste. Luna smiled, tossing off her blanket. Indeed, it would be a waste. Come, thy sister. Let us go attend to our ponies, need for feast and party, and then we shall lay those that need it to rest. Oh, Luna, Celestia chuckled as she followed her out. You're such a silly pony. A strong one, but still silly. You know us well then, sister. Now hurry up. We hunger. The dining hall buzzed with conversation as the returning heroes told their tales of valor to those who stayed behind, and to the youngsters who sat mystified by their tales. To the patrollers that went to fight the battle for the Crystal Empire was a victory, even if the Empire itself was lost. The mission was to rescue Princess Luna and as many ponies as they could, and they succeeded in that mission. For the upper ranks of the patrollers, things were a bit more sober, as Sixes, Fury, and Gadget waited for the princesses to arrive. Each of the three stallions harbored the same feelings. What more could they have done? What would have worked better? Everything a commander thought, and the lives of fallen weighed on their minds. Here are your drinks, gentle colts, enjoy. A harmonic voice sang, passing out more hard cider. The three were surprised to see Alto Melody serving them. Lady Melody, we are flattered, but you are a guest. There's no need to serve us, said Sixes, eyeing Crystal Noble curiously. She's rather pretty. Is that a maid uniform? Yes it is. I've decided to join the castle staff. I wish to repay you all for your sacrifice in trying to save my home. It's the least I can do, I'm afraid, she replied sadly. And then a wonderful idea occurred to her. Excuse me, but you wouldn't happen to have a few ponies with some musical talent, would you? Gadget tapped his head with thought. I believe Silverbell would know a few. She was part of the band of musicians that joined up a few moons ago. And I believe Rawhide knows how to play the guitar somehow. How does an Earth Pony play the guitar? Wonderful. Thank you very much, Alto said, running off. No problem, I guess, Sixes replied, but the crystal mare was already gone. So, how does get... I see she got taller since 3 days ago. Speaking of which, where is she? Sleeping, replied Gadget, taking a swig of cider. She spent the better part of the day crying and telling me everything that happened. I don't know what to do. She's a filly in a mare's body. Soon I bet she'll start, you know, and I'm just not ready to deal with a teenage mare with possible PTSD. post-traumatic stress disorder. There's no way to change her back, asked Sixes. A spell or some ancient treasure, or even Princess Luna? She was changed by the Crystal Heart, Fury chimed in. An ancient artifact. Nothing now destroyed Crystal Empire. Its magic precedes the princesses. And this is straight from Princess Luna herself. She already tried and failed to change Dusk back to normal. In a sense, Dusk reminds me of us. But at least she has the benefit of knowing her past. Six is not in agreement. As the two down there pines with gusto. So Gadget, you find anything else about us while doing your research stuff? The unicorn looked into the cider with a frown. A while ago, Sixes and a few other Renin came to him and asked him to try and find anything about them. But the research has been pushed to the wayside with his other projects taking up most of his time. Didn't help biology. It was never a strong suit. He was a mechanical thinker. That's some pony like Star Swirled. Sorry, my friends. But I haven't had time to discover much. But there have been a few interesting developments, just such as why some of you have different breath magic, such as lightning, ice, plasma. But nothing that really tells me about who you are. DNA is already tough to map out, but your DNA is a shambled mess. Sometimes it seems like you have 4 or 5 different gene types floating around inside you. Gene what now? Sixes burped as he began to sway back and forth. Fury wasn't looking much better. If his redder than normal complexion was anything to go by, Gadget huffed, downing his cider in one gulp. Whatever I'll tell you when you're sober, and after a couple lectures. Slamming down his pint, Gadget called for another round. As Celestia and Luna entered the dining hall, all eyes turned to them as a hush fell over the crowd of ponies. Funny how that happens. The two sisters awkwardly fidgeted in place under the pony's stares that seemed to demand something be said. But they haven't prepared to say anything. My ponies, Luna began, her voice echoing throughout the room. We gather here this night in celebration of our victory and in mourning for those we have lost. I know that those who cannot be here this day would not want us to wail in agony for their passing, but to rejoice in the lives we still have and live it to the fullest in their stead. For even as the stone in which we carve their names may fade and crumble, we, their friends, shall never let them fade from our hearts. Now please eat, drink, and be merry, and let no one more tears fall this day in grief, but enjoy. Huzzah! Huzzah! The room replied. Every pony immediately went back to their merrymaking, leaving the royal sisters alone. I'm proud of you, Luna. You've become a wonderful leader, Celestia hugged her sister close and whispered. Much better leader than I ever was alone. Joy was nearly bursting out her heart at Celestia's praise. Smiling wide, Luna returned her sister's hug with gusto, squeezing the white unicorn for all she was worth. Thank you, sister, Luna said, tearing up. It means more than you'll ever know to hear you say that. But that being said, Luna separated from Celestia so she could look her right in the eyes. We rule better together. Perhaps we could try to do so again. Celestia smiled warmly, extending her foreleg with a hoof bump. Of course, I want nothing more, and smiled as she held her hoof up to Celestia's. Then we are agreed. We rule together as day and night. That's right, nodded Celestia. Now let's go get some food. Luna laughed heartily as Celestia's stomach grumbled for food. Taking hold of her sister's hoof, she dragged her down to the tables, where desserts of all kinds were being served, but most importantly, her sister's favorite, cake, which Celestia wasted no time in devouring. Revealing her less than delicate mannerisms as she gulped down an entire cake in seconds. There was silence as the ponies watched a princess of the land smother her face in cake. With chocolate smeared all over her face and her cheeks puffed up with bits of dessert, Celestia spoke to her onlookers with a mouthful. Well, what are you looking at? Never seen a mare eat after starving for 2 days? She demanded, drowning a pint of cider to wash down her cake. A roaring cheer thundered through the halls as the night patrol ponies partied down with princesses deep into the night. Hours later, as the night began to wane to the sun bringing forth the morning, Luna and Celestia led the ponies from the dining hall into the courtyard where the names of the fallen were being engraved into the memorial wall. The ponies, though hungover and tired from the sleepless night, straightened their uniforms and stood at attention for respect of their comrades and saluted. They stood there for as long as it took to engrave the names. No pony moved, not even the foals, till the last name was carved. Hello, can every pony hear me? Asked Alto Melody, speaking into the communicator gem, her voice booming all over the courtyard. Good. You can hear me, I guess. That was a lot louder than I expected. I'm Alto Melody, a survivor of the Crystal Empire, and I'd like to express my gratitude to you all for all you've done for us. I don't have much to give in return, I'm afraid, but I do have my voice, so I would like to sing a ballad of those you have lost. The ponies behind me have graciously agreed to help me. Please enjoy. its power and force growing with each note, and then also seemed to shine as bright as the sun as magical bursts of energy flew up to the sky like fireworks, depicting the battle and images of the fallen. Celestia and Luna stepped into this display, holding the sun and the moon, so that the beauty of the night sky merged with the rising sun, creating a scene of pure majesty. The final image was a burst of pink sparkles, depicting the late Princess Symphony. Luna and Celestia teared up at the sight and said goodbye to the only other family they had. Foxgear in his writing had a music video. I felt that this song was more proper to the Night Patrol ponies that fell. Although this is a fan fiction, again, dealing with a loss of friends, a family, even comrades is hard to take, especially what these ponies have gone through. What Luna said is very true. Though the loved ones I know that those who cannot be here this day would not want us to wail in agony for their passing, but to rejoice the life we still have and live it to the fullest in their stead. The third week of November, I personally went to the vet and had my cat put to sleep. She was my baby. She was my everything. She picked me out at the animal shelter. She would sleep with me. She would play with me. She would comfort me when I was sad. Losing her was really hard. And it still is hard for me today. Also, I remember as a child coming home September 5th, 2 days before my mom's birthday. that my grandma also passed. That was September 5th, 2001. I was in Mississippi. On September 11th, 2001, I was to fly back from Mississippi to Arizona. With the airport shut down, we returned to our hotel, and I saw on the TV the second plane hit the Twin Towers. The Pentagon under attack and the plane crashing to the fields. We still live on. We remember and cherish the moments we have. I want you all to know, from the very bottom of my heart, when you're listening to my readings, that you are loved. You are every bit special as the Night Patrol ponies. The Lunar Guard, to the new Lunar Republic, to the Solar Empire, to the Crystal Empire, to the Twilight Empire, whatever fandom, whatever empire you choose. We are one in mind, body, and spirit. So thank you all for listening. I will be back again tomorrow with chapter 14. Have a wonderful night. Also, please don't forget to like the videos so I know that I'm doing an awesome job or I'm doing a cruddy job and I need to improve. Thank you all again for listening. And have an amazing night.